Welcome to Message Reveal. Message Reveal identifies a vibe, a message, or a story told through lyrics of a song. But before we get started, I have to tell you about my special guest that I've been waiting for. Well, all my guests are special, but he's special. So, as I do every Monday, I tell you guys just a few things that my guest is associated with. So let's get started. 1, he's a native of Las Vegas. Yes. We big up our natives of Las Vegas. 2, he's a husband, he's a dad, and he's the world's best uncle. We believe in family. Yes. He's also associated with the Las Vegas think tank. And last, but definitely not least, he is a former and possibly a future candidate for State Assembly District 6. And we'll find some more information we'll peep into his life about that. So you guys, please put your hands together and welcome my brother. I'll say it again, my brother, Mr. Kerm.
Hello. What's up, sis? Shalom to you.
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Living in God's grace. How about yourself?
I love that. I love that. I'm living in God's grace too. It is so excited on my end to see you. I thank you for saying yes and coming on to my platform. I so appreciate you.
Well, you are a wonderful service to not only us who personally know you, but seriously, this program is super dope. Message Reveal is super dope. You have had some wonderful guests on here, from Miss Brentley to my big brother Collins, my brother Kelsey West, Pullum. I mean, and the list goes on. People I've never met before that I've gotten so much useful information from. So thank you for doing the service to people like me and always being a student of learning something new from people.
You know what? If I could run over there and hug you, I will hug you. So I'm sending you a mental hug. Thank you, because I so enjoy doing this. And for you to even validate, I didn't realize all those individuals you knew. So thank you.
I know more than that. That's just off the top. But I'm faithful with it. When I see something, I generally try to watch it all. And sometimes I watch a segment and come back to it later, just so I can let things sit. And once again, even China hustling, like that was another powerful one. Like you have a lot of people in our community, not only leaders, just everyday people living a life, making small differences in different crevices and corners, and all people deserve to have a little shine on it, because we all folk.
Yes, for sure. But we family, and we'll get into that later. And I say that because my mom, my sisters, everybody love you. You just can't get away from us. Usually one person that likes, somebody in the family. All of us love you. So we're going to put that out there.
and I thank you and the sisters for loving me like that. Your mother is one of the most beautiful women I've ever met, in her spirit and her soul. And there's never a hug that I've gotten for her that didn't heal me in some kind of way.
Oh,
so yeah, I mean, whether y'all like it or not, I'm in your fam. I'm your brother.
Oh, definitely that, without a doubt. That is, so you give me all choked up, especially when I talk about my mother. I think you hear me say it often, Sister Peggy this, Sister Peggy that. I wouldn't be here with this opportunity if it was not for her love and support. And I can say it over and over again. So thank you for acknowledging my mother.
Honestly, Peggy gave me a really good reality check. As you know, me and your sister Rashima are super close. You know what I mean? And as we were growing up and coming to your home in Regal Estates, statehood.
Yes, states.
And she always welcomed me in your home with open arms, but her set was always like allowing me to be who I am, but to be mindful and respectful of this environment. You know what I mean? I have daughters, I have women. We want respect, and we ain't got to demand it. Just our presence alone and our meekness warrants it. And it kind of checked me as a young man full of vigor. You know what I mean? And kind of, being how I was,
Yes.
it kind of showed me, okay, in the presence of women that are great, and families like this, like, check yourself. You understand? Be respectful. Understand the terms. Understand the conditions, and be mindful of the love and energy that's poured into houses, and being a matriarch like she is. You know what I mean? So
Yes. I love that you brought that up. And that is my mother's silent way. A lot of people would not say it like that, but that is spot on. She do demand respect, especially if a young man comes into our area or has been invited in. And I have a lot of that same similarity. Like, you're not going to come in here and cut up. Not saying that you would do that, but it's certain standards that are set, and we operate in that energy.
absolutely, absolutely. And those who pay attention will get the lesson a lot sooner.
Ooh, all right, come on now. Wait a minute. We haven't even got started. Somebody's already putting out wisdom. Okay.
God put it in me, so I got to pull it out of me. You know what I mean? And that's the blessing. Once again, that's the real blessing, is when you look back in your life and you see these moments that we've taken for granted or were blips of time. When you reflect back on them, you see the importance of certain people, certain times, and certain moments where you like, you know what? Thank you, God, for putting me in this space and time. Now I see why you gave me that spirit of humility to sit still or listen, or be, you know what I mean, be mindful or watchful of what came out of my mouth, or, you know what I mean, because it could have been a number of ways. But once again, your mom was impactful in that way to me.
Oh, well, I'm thankful, and not only that, for you to see it in that way, because sometimes people won't take it in that way. They take it as something different. So you're a wise man with that. So I'm gonna get started, and I ask all my guests this one particular question. What
Okay.
makes you tick? What makes you bold? What gets you up in the morning?
Honestly, just breathing my first breath is enough. uh,
Mm.
I, so just to share, I deal with sickle cell, and one of the things that affect me with my sickle cell is my respiratory system, my lungs. And because I've been in situations where I've almost lost my life, based on my lung activity, and things of the such, I honor the breaths that I take, even if from the first one, when I wake up, to the last one when I go to sleep. So to be honest, once I get that first breath, I can be grumpy, I can be happy, I can be all in between. But I thank God for all of those ranges, because I have the breath to do it. You know what I mean? So it don't
I
take.
I love that you said that. I think a lot of us take things like that for granted. We don't
Yeah.
even look at it as something, as a blessing. We just get up. It's just like normal reaction. So for you to acknowledge the breath,
Mhm.
that's beauty in acknowledging that.
Well, once again, I'm a very fortunate person, and I thank God for all that He's done for me. And once again, the most simplest thing that anybody can have is just mere breath. You know what I mean? The oxygen may not be good around you, and there may be things constricting it, but just the ability to inhale and exhale. One of my favorite rappers, Fonte from Little Brother, he has a verse on a song called Today by with the Roots, and it says, inhale, exhale, breathe out, and heal all your exit wounds. So
Ooh.
breathing to heal yourself, in the simplest of anxieties and the simplest of pains and ills, just simply breathing can actually heal a lot of that. And that, once again, keeping it about the music, that's one of the things that have helped me keep perspective of that.
I love that. I mean, you're talking some good stuff, because there are certain ways you should breathe, and it does provide healing to the body. And the mere fact that you could break it out and throw in some roots like that, oh, come on now.
um,
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
song, song is called Today by the Root, and it has a rapper named Fonte from the rap group Little Brother on it, and he has a very poignant rap verse on there for sure.
Oh, right on. So somebody may hear this and say, let me, because I know when things are provided to me, when I get off, I'm like, oh, let me check this out or let me hear this. And I'm pretty sure if anybody that's tuning in that have a love for music, they will go check it out as well.
Absolutely. That's the mission.
Yes, yes. The mission to heal as well. So you know what? We're going to talk about the elephant in the room. It's two
Okay.
elephants.
All
One
right.
is the elephant in the very, very back. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because it really draws my energy in. I know we talked about it on the pre-show, but I want to give my audience some information about that. Can you talk about it?
All right. Well, it's a piece that I got from an African conservatory group for an auction. Ironically, they were one of my clients that I was servicing, and they go to Africa often, and they auction off a lot of art pieces that they get from Africa. And they had a room full of items, and I made a donation to them, and they said I can pick any piece that I wanted. And this particular piece spoke to me. It's an elephant that has lizards in its ear and in its snout. And I never knew what it really meant. I just knew it spoke to me. So I put out a SOS, like somebody help me find out what this really means, like what's the origins and so forth. And somebody actually from Ghana, which is my blood lineage homeland, stated like, once again, elephants are prominent in all African cultures and sex, and what they represent is prosperity. They represent knowledge. They represent wisdom. The lizards going up the snout represents the constant moving up of that particular acknowledgement of peace, prosperity, knowledge, and things and such. So that's the gist of it. And once again, it just spoke to me. There's nothing else that I need to say outside of that particular piece spoke to me. And honestly, since they said that to me, I put it in the cornerstone of my room, and it's brought me nothing but just that prosperity, peace, just wisdom, and everything else that goes with it.
I love it. I love it. It spoke to you and it spoke to me. It has my attention. Of course, I'm looking directly at it, but it's just like it made me curious. So thank you for sharing that piece and giving someone that information that didn't know, including myself, didn't know about it. But let's talk about your shirt. Come on
Okay,
now. Come on.
okay.
What you doing?
In good hands, like all state, be square finest. Absolutely. This is a shirt that we had made for my dear cousin and loved one, Aaron Campbell. He passed away last year, this time last year from esophageal cancer. And I'm from the Berkeley Square neighborhood, the first Black historical neighborhood where Black people in this city could purchase homes. And I'm living in Berkeley Square currently as well. I purchased this home from my grandparents when I was in my early 20s.
Wait, 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 wait. Excuse me?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yes.
So this is generation.
This generation. My grandmother had the fortitude and the foresight to know that in accordance to the Bible, a wise person lays up wealth for generations to come. And even though she only had a sixth grade education, she understood the nuances of this world is not going to give you anything. And she
Yes.
wanted for her generations that she produced had a better leg standing up than what she did on the cotton fields of Tallulah, Louisiana. So her and my grandfather came out here with the Great Migration, stayed on Jackson Street in the huts like everybody else in the 50s. And once the lawyer and the Black lawyer and the Black real estate developer, James Berkeley, came up with the concept of these homes, and they made the development. My grandparents were one of the first ones to do it. So they started the process in 1959, closed in 1960, and it's still in our family and going through my hands and after me going forward.
What a blessing. We have to showcase and say that we keep things, we treasure things. It may not be the way the world sees, but this is a great example of showing the longevity, the consistency, and thank you for honoring the story of your grandparents. Now, your grandparents, they have passed on, correct?
Absolutely.
So anytime we're on this, when we talk about anyone that has passed on, we do them a disservice if we do not say their name. So if you can say your grandmother and grandfather first and last name so we can honor them.
Absolutely. My grandfather was Thomas Foster, Tallulah, Louisiana. My grandmother was Mary Jane Harvey Foster, also of Tallulah, Louisiana. And I thank God for them. God bless y'all souls and y'all spirits. I love y'all.
Yes, yes, I love that. Thank you for acknowledging that. And Berkeley Swear. Okay, we'll let you represent.
Absolutely. For those in Vegas that know, is the Tamale Lady house from the square.
Oh,
Square Biz.
wow. I love it. I love it. I love just, we are so rich in spirit here in Vegas. I cannot begin to express our richness. And I love that I get the opportunity to put it on display with the guests that I have on. So I just always have to talk about Vegas. So
Absolutely. And I'm proud to be a resident of the West Side. I'm proud to be a resident of 89106. I'm proud to have any choice I choose to live, and I choose to live here. You know what I mean? It's not a force, it's not a having to. It is a conscious choice to be
yes.
here. Show my neighborhood that I love it, and I'm going to build on it and be a part of it and keep in its growth.
Well, since you mentioned 89106, as they say, stand up, let's talk about, as I introduced you, I did mention that you were former and possibly for the future, a candidate for State Assembly District 6. So can you give us a little insight on that particular piece?
Absolutely. I've been inspired my life in due part to one, there's a few brothers, but one, let me give a shout out to Dr. Lawrence Larry L. Dub Weekly. I was a member of a youth organization in which he himself and our dear fallen brother recently, Michael Garrett, Dr. Bombay, they put us in positions to do a lot of help for politicians. And back in the early 90s, we assisted Frank Hawkins, who was elected a city councilman. We helped Wendell P. Williams, who was also in the assembly. So we did a lot of things to help push and promote them in their candidacies. And that seed was embedded in me when I was like 12 years old doing that. And as I grew up and, being a kind of a caretaker of my grandmother, so to speak, and being around my family, being entrenched in the community, and being inspired by, the current legislators at the time, rest in peace, Mr. Harvey Mumford, and people, I felt like I could be the change that I wanted to see and further the missions that they themselves were doing. I lived my whole life, honestly, almost square, pretty much by the book. So I was one of those cats that never got in trouble, never been arrested, never been in jail, went to college, didn't, do too much wild sowing of oats to have multiple children. I lived a pretty, cut clean life. So, and I know how they like to tear you down when you run for politics and do those things. So in my mind, I'm like, let me put some use to this good life I've been living in good name. You know what I mean? And so once again, brother Harvey Mumford encouraged me and inspired me to run. And I actually ran against him. My first time running was actually against one of the people that I admired.
Wow.
And just putting my name on the ballot and running and having the intentions, setting up a campaign and having the things that I wanted to do, like, for the West Side, it's one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city. And the general average income in this neighborhood is less than $30,000. So a lot of these homes built in the 50s and the 60s are old. Some are dilapidated. Some are in a lot of need. And unfortunately, the average age in this area was also in the high 40s, 50, 60 years old. You know what I mean? That's the range. So I wanted to do programs that allow people who had homes in this neighborhood that can prove they're the first generation to have some sort of taxation break where instead of the taxes that they're paying going to the city, that money goes into a bucket to allow them to improve their roofs, to improve their AC units, to improve the landscaping, to help with things. I wanted to help, get certain things done in the legislature to help with funding for schooling, to help teachers get more money, to help with after school programs where it's not a matter of we don't have the funding for X, Y, and Z and make it hard. Having real tangible policy where it's like, hey, I'm not just running just to say I want to be a politician and have a position and look at me. I want to do things tangible to work with the very community that I come from to address the needs of the people that live in my neighborhood and community, and look like me and those who don't look like me. So that way the person that has very little can move it a little bit further. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So but once again, I lost that election, but I didn't lose it because I gained so much wisdom, got so much value in the process of learning things, to where I tried it again. And once again, in trying it again, it was a different cycle, different people. And big ups to brother William McCurdy that won that election. That's now our current county commissioner, that replaced Dr. Lawrence Weekly. And him and his team, his father, they had a really good campaign. And once again, I'm saying this to say, even though I did not win those elections, doesn't mean that my intention in my heart and what I value of trying to get businesses, trying to help the residents have gone away. I've helped some of them people. I've gone to the legislation speaking on certain things and helping promote and helping speak on behalf of, because whether we win it or not, the work still has to be done.
Ooh,
With that,
yes.
we got to stop, criticizing so much some of these people that are putting themselves out there, and understand it's not easy. And even though they can have a million things that are not right about them, let's try to galvanize and support the things that are. You know what I mean? So, and if you don't like it, be the change and run. How about that? Put your name on the ballot and see what it's about, and then you'll start to get a different perspective about what you think about the
Yeah.
do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I wouldn't want to do anything but the assembly, because that's a matter of making law and changing law. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to know what your city councilmen do. They do not make the laws. Their county commissioners, they do not make the laws. They're making interpretation and judgments of ordinances and approvals of things. You should know, like if something's wrong with the stop sign in your neighborhood, who you need to talk to. If something's wrong with, you think they shouldn't be loitering somewhere, know who to talk to. Know the difference between an ordinance and a law. Know the difference between certain things, so that way we can be more empowered as a society to help support and to push things that we need.
I love that. I'm just gonna go all the things you said, I'm in alignment with you. But one thing that really takes it to the top, and I love that you said that, was at the very beginning when you mentioned about the age range in the historic West Side, and let's take some of that money and put it in a coffer so they can have the opportunity to use that money for repairs. We
Right.
know sometimes they may not, they're on a fixed income and they may not have the opportunity to fix these treasures. And they are treasures because it holds the history of what we've done, what we will do, and history for the future. We're not letting anybody write us out of the future, and we will tell our story from the past as well. So thank you so much for giving that perspective.
Absolutely. It's a lot of people. Um, Fortunately, my grandmother, like I said, had the foresight in what she did with me, because I wasn't on the mind frame that I was on when I did what I did with my grandmother in purchasing this home. It came by her sitting me down and explaining it to me. I know a lot of people on the West Side, and whether it's Valley View, Vegas Heights, Berkeley Square, the real estates, who all have had parents or grandparents have homes. Something's happened to them. They didn't leave a will, nor did they have a living embankment where somebody was living with them, where, title wise, or the county can record, okay, they were living with them. And then they're stuck with this property in which, once again, is dilapidated. They don't have the money for the back taxes. They don't have the money to get things up to snuff. So the families just say it's a burden upon us, but let's just sell it.
Yeah.
And so many of us have lost our heritage homes because of that process, or families arguing and families bickering. And once again, I thank God for Mary Jane Harvey Foster for having the foresight to be like, son, I know you want to do these things in the world, but sit down real quick. Let me tell you how to go. This is what I want to do. This is what the Lord says. This is what the Bible says, and this is what we're going to do. I see you as a man, and I'm going to let you take over as a man, and it's not going to be easy, and they're going to fight you, and they're going to be this, that, and the third, but they'll see later on. And if
Yes.
about it, I don't know what was. So I just really would like to, anything legislative, if I do decide in the future to do anything, I do want to focus on helping families and individuals, especially in this district, to keep and retain these homes that we have.
Yes, yes, definitely that. I agree. I'm glad that you acknowledged that and brought that up. I'm very keen to us having something. We know that other neighborhoods, other people around the country, we know how longevity and wealth is stored when we have a piece of property that we can do multiple things with. So I'm a big proponent of that. I think by you even acknowledging that last piece, someone will be tuning in. Someone may be debating back and forth, do we keep it? And because of your words, that may push them to say, yes, we're going to keep this because we want to have that longevity. We want to be able to tell the story from generation to generation. So
Absolutely. And even then, if even though I'm not big on social media, if someone say, hey, Hallema, that guy that's, he was talking about that, do you have his information? I would gladly tell you to reach it out. I'll be glad to share my story and share the things and the processes that I've gone through, in interpersonal with family and legally, that can help guide people to make the wiser or the best decisions for them. You know what I mean? It's imperative to me that we have that in mind. And just bringing a home driving point home, my grandparents bought this house in the like 1959. It moved in 1960 for like $30,000. When I the loan for my grandmother, they valued the house at maybe like 80,000-90,000 at the time. Now it's worth 3 times plus that. And the point that I'm making is, even though I may never use the equity of it, the point is it's still value. I have an option. I have a choice. It's mine. It's paid for. I paid the loan off for it. Can't nobody take it from me. The world can crumble and I'm straight. I think people need to understand there's multiple ways to look at wealth. There's multiple ways of looking at value. There's multiple ways of looking at what you deem to be comfortable or livable in the future to make your moves. And that has many faces. And I'm just one that say humbly, you know what I mean? Thanks to my grandmother and her foresight, I live a super comfortable life. And it's all from being obedient and knowing what the mission was about generational wealth.
yes, I love that. I love that. You can listen, you talking some real good stuff. And really, we need to hear this. We need to know about it. If we're not talking about this process, it gets swept under the carpet. Other cultures from day one, they're talking about, hey, you're going to purchase this, you're going to have this. A lot of times people may not live in it, and that's okay too, but they still have the ownership of the home. And anytime they want to take back or be a part of that history in that home, it's still theirs, So
Absolutely. Rick Ross has a song called entitled "By the Block." But guess what? If you never left the block, you don't have to buy it back. You have ownership of it. So although that is the concept we should have, you know what I mean? Us that come from neighborhoods where we were marginalized in them, and the value and the assets of that land was undermined and diminished, and we now see the value in it in hindsight. The thing is to have the foresight not to leave it, keep it, so we don't have to buy back the block, but we build up the block. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer of this. I don't live in the historic West Side, but I grew up in the historic West Side, and I have love for the historic West Side. And in the long term, I would like to purchase a piece of property. I don't care if it's this big, because that's where my foundation is. So I'm talking to do different sets, the ones like you, but also individuals like me. I may not live in the historic West Side, but I still have the love, and it's still a foundation piece for me.
Correct. It got this neighborhood. Listen, it has changed dramatically. It has a very slim margin, if at all, now of being the predominantly Black neighborhood. It's historically Black, but in its current context, it is more Hispanic. In like, I actually have Asian neighbors, white neighbors, Hispanic neighbors, all within a house or two from me.
Wow.
This exclusively Black. Clearly, these neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, it's just a matter of understanding the times. Like, we're everywhere. The most prominent area now is North Las Vegas for African American home ownership. So Cumberland versus Henderson, a lot of Black people from these historic neighborhoods have migrated once again to North Las Vegas. And so it's not so much as just touting, okay, well, this is the Black neighborhood. It's the historic context of when no one accepted us, this is where we were. So in the quest of, trying to look for better or achieve better, don't think that the better wasn't here all along. And, hey, if you choose to come back here, but if you're not, love you where you at, because you've shown progress. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we can't, no one should feel bad about wanting to get out. The whole thing is, if you got out to make things better or progress, fine. As long as you didn't think where you came from was the horrible part.
Say that. I think you need to say it, because that's a bar. Say that again.
Well, I mean, once again, be prideful in where you come from. Just as we may identify as islanders, or African descent. You want us to have pride in that. And the whole thing is, you may have never been to the islands of where your ancestry come from. A lot of us are Native American Indians in this country that are Black.
Wait, say that.
On our native lands from where we come from. How many of us have parents that come from Fordyce, Arkansas, Tallulah, Louisiana, and you ain't never even stepped foot in the land that your grandparents or your great-grandparents stepped on? So in that instance, it's like, if you don't acknowledge that, then it's almost like denying it or running away from it.
Yes.
And from this aspect is just, I remember the sacrifices of people like QB, Marzette Lewis,
yes,
just so many that have come in this neighborhood and have been centralized here and did their work to make it good outside of here. You know what I mean? But the root was planted here. So to me, it's just being grateful, paying homage to all my ancestors, known and unknown, that fought.
Come on.
Hey, we worthy here. We not all what you make us out to be. We're not all drug dealers. We ain't all uneducated. We ain't all, just living frivolously. There's a lot of us, like me and my wife, our daughter through marriage, college educated, great credit. We can do whatever we want and live wherever we want. It's a choosing.
Yes.
It is a choosing of, this is our heritage, this is our culture, and we want to hold tight to it, as much of it as we possibly can.
Yes, yes, yes. You know what? I'm just going to give you a clap for that, because that was some wisdom and some knowledge that was definitely needed. And now we're going to get into, I call it music. It has turned me all the way out, but in a good way. So, can you identify a song that has either blessed you, either given you perspective, or distracted you in some kind of way? But before you answer, there's rules to this.
Okay.
If you can sing, I need you to sing your throat box out. If you can rap, I need you to come hard in the paint. But if you cannot do either one of those, I need you to stand 10 toes down and tell your truth, but do it with passion, with spirit, with soul. So, going back to my original question, can you provide a lyric of a song that either blessed you, given you perspective, or distracted you?
Absolutely. Well, I call it my theme song, my mantra song. and it's by an artist by the name of Yasin Bey, aka the Mighty Most Deaf, and it's called UMI Says. And the
Mm.
lyrics are, tomorrow may never come for you and me. Life is not promised. Tomorrow may never show up for you and me. Life is not promised. I ain't no perfect man. I'm trying to do the best that I can with what it is I have. I ain't no perfect man. I'm trying to do the best that I can with what it is I have. So that's the intro to the song. But the lyrics that hit me is, he says, sometimes I get discouraged. I look around and things are so weak. People get so weak. And at times I just feel like crying. Sometimes my heart gets heavy. Sometimes I just want to leave and fly away. Sometimes I don't know what to do with myself, but passion takes over me. Feel like a man, going insane, losing my brain, trying to maintain doing my thing. Hey. Put my heart and soul into this, y'all. Hope you feel me from where I am to wherever you are. And here's the lyric. Sometimes I just want a quiet life. Sometimes I don't want to be bothered. Just want a quiet life, me and my baby, me and my ladies. Sometimes I don't want to get in the stronghold. Sometimes I don't want to be a soldier. Sometimes I just want to be a man, but Umi said, shine your light on the world. So it's a constant reminder that even though I'm an individual and I may go through what I go through and I may feel what I feel, God has put something special and unique in me. And I cannot do a disservice to the breath that I breathe by not shining light on this world in some kind of way, especially.
Ooh. Wow, I love that. You know, you threw me for a loop. I wouldn't even, no way, expecting for you to use that song. I love that song. I think it is a timeless song, but it's so detailed to give you a perspective in how we see, because he gives you each seat. Like, you know, sometimes I don't want to be bothered, but I know I must shine my light. And how many times we didn't got in our own way, and I'll put me in and be like, nah, I'm good with that. And
Mhm.
God sends someone, an intercessor, say, no, this is what you need to be doing, or show you something, or you see something and you get back onto that path. So I think that is so dope. And you are the first to give that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've heard it before, but hey, that is just sincerely what's me. That's my theme song. That's one of my moniker songs. I say, yeah,
I love it. And I love that you said, I believe everyone should have a theme song. It
I,
just does something for you. So, yes,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you for that.
Mm.
Now, let's take this boat and go back just a little. And
Okay.
let's talk about when I introduced you, I talked about you being affiliated with the Las Vegas Black Think Tank.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what was the catalyst for you to be a part of that? And how does it really benefit you to see things in a different perspective?
Okay. Well, the Vegas Black Think Tank is an organization that originally spawned back in about 2007, 2008. My good brother, dear brother, Devin Moore, who's also the owner, one of the owners and operators of Mariposa Restaurant and Cantina. I want to give a shout out to him. Um, and grew up in Valley View as well. He and I have been, dear friends for a long time, and we used to meet up at Grits, where Trina restaurant, and we used to always talk about the state of the Black Union, where Dr. Cornel West and a lot of prominent thinkers in the Black diaspora would come together yearly and have these topics of where we are as a state of union of speak in the African American culture and in communities. And we sat and was like, you know what, we could do something like that here in Vegas as well. So we created the Vegas Black Think Tank symposium series, in which we gave like the state of Black churches, the state of Black education, the state of Black love, where we would actually we had our first ones at Victory Baptist Church. Rest in peace, Dr. Fowler, who was the
Yes.
pastor of Victory Baptist Church. He would allow us to have symposiums where we talked about matters of spirituality, what's happening with, churches, what's happening in our communities as a whole. We would be at Nevada Partners, with shout out Steve Horsford, would be, and Monica Ford, who also ran the place, would open the facilities up to us and allow us to have state of Black relationships. And the biggest thing of the Vegas Black think tank is having data-driven information to guide us specific for the nation and for our state and city. So if it was a matter of, let's say, state of Black education, well, let's talk about the state of Black education in Las Vegas. Statistically, what are the numbers that we have? What are the schools that we have? How is it performing? What is happening with the teachers in these particular schools? And let's break it down in a way to where it's tangible and it's sourceful, that we all can research and grab and know that it's the truth, not what our opinions are, not what
Yes.
we're thinking, but this, like, you can go to nevada.gov and get this information. You can go to Clark County X, Y, and Z and grab this information. You can go to the government, whatever page and grab this information. And this is where we get this from. And one of the things we're really big on right now is the state of Black Vegas as a whole, and how, Vegas has moved in the past 5 to 10 years to be from number 44 on the most populated Black cities to now we're at number 22, number 20 on that list. And there's only one city in the South, I believe it's North Carolina, that has more Black migrants coming to the city than Las Vegas. So
Really?
absolutely, if you look up, I think it's even, you can look it up in Wikipedia. If you look up government, the government census information, they will show you this information as well. So once again, this is a think tank thing. This is where you go to look at the information and take a look. Type in populated cities for African Americans. You'll see New York has always have been number one. Chicago and Atlanta and DC and Houston has volleyed between 2, 3, 4, and 5. But then you can go ahead and see what cities are what. And being from Vegas, 10 years ago, we were like number 44. Now we're in number. They show you the percentages of what that number looks like from one census to the next. And once again, we are number 2 only to one city. I think it's somewhere in the South. I want to say it's either South Carolina or North Carolina. But once again, the migration from California, from Chicago, from Detroit, Midwest area. But that's definitely our cousin to the west of us, California, has imposed our numbers immensely in the city. So where do we stand? Once again, even though we have a historic West Las Vegas that are identified with Black people, we're not, as I hate to say this word, not being a monolith, meaning like we're not all the same, but they're coming in the city in areas that don't really look like them. And
Absolutely.
and so how do they integrate into this city that we made it, we natives and the people been here for a long time, we made it comfortable for them to be here and want to be here because of the tracks that we made, the steps that we thrived for to make this city what it is. So do they have a sense of belonging, or are they here just another person operating in their individual selves? Or can we collectively grab the numbers that we have together to say, hey, in these areas, there's no politicians represented, let's put some in there. In these areas, there's no businesses for people in this area, let's put them there. In these areas, there's no place for kids to get tutoring, or there's no adequate parks, or whatever the case may be for X, Y, and Z for us, let's put it there. There's no events going. So we can move the needle by having gathered data-driven information where we can make moves on it. So yeah, Devin and myself have, we started it years ago. Just like in life, sometimes it's gas break on things, but people can go to like Facebook and type in the Vegas Black Think Tank, and you can see that page and join on it. And there'll be numerous topics of discussion and businesses that'll shout out, hey, if anybody's looking for Black businesses for X, Y, and Z, here we are. Or hey,
Nice.
anybody know a Black contractor? Does anybody know a Black beautician? Does anybody know X, Y, and Z? And believe it or not, a lot of those out of town people find and search these things to try to integrate into our society. So just being aware that it's not just us, it's everybody looking at us with it. But that's what we try to do.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for acknowledging that because, again, somebody may not know about this and you've provided this platform to go, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I want to be a part of that. Or at least tap in and give their 2 cents about where they're at. Because like you said, we may be all over the city and it may be in their area that they can provide some justice or provide a perspective, or like you said, build a grocery store that can be for the people in that area and have things that represent them.
Absolutely. Service the community. Let me give a shout out to a couple people really quick. Dina Neal,
Yes.
Senator Neal for this area. Sandra Armstrong, who was the assemblywoman, she's going out. Cedric Creer, who's the current city council member that's going for mayor. I wish him the best of luck. Once again, county commissioner. So once again, I'm naming all of the people that are representing this particular district of 89106 in capacities of leadership.
Yes.
And Dr. Lee, thank you for your service. Once again, Steve Horford, our state government representative for congressional district. Even Ricky Barlow.
Yes.
Brother, to you as well. I remember the days that, you were fighting to get business over here, adequate grocery store, and how, because of the numbers and disposable income being that our home values are so low, how the kickback was. And you fought and you got Vaughn's here. That didn't work out. You got Bilo here. That didn't work out. Dina Neal, I know, was instrumental in helping and supporting with things. There's a lot of moving pieces to what makes a community a community. Some are sung, some are unsung.
Yes.
Let me just take the time to, since I have a keen affinity for the political aspect, give props to those who put their neck out, that have tried, and whether they failed or succeeded, thank you for at least giving the valid effort, and us hold them accountable and us hold ourselves accountable for the things that we need. Shout out to Mario's Market. You know what I mean? They not too long ago opened up. And once again, whether I support it or not, because some people know how I personally feel about certain things and certain people.
Yes.
And I can have a lot of vitriol for a lot of things, but one thing I would never do is down somebody, and especially in a public atmosphere, to where it denigrates any of the work that they've done that I've either seen or not seen. So let's give those who have done their just due.
Yes, I love that. I love that. As the old folks say, give credit where credit is due.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for acknowledging all those people. And I think if they get an opportunity to see this, they would be humbled that you mention their name and acknowledge them. One person I know you said Dina Neal, but let's say her dad's name, because he has been so instrumental throughout the years of doing so much. So if you acknowledge her dad's name.
Yeah, Senator Neal, her father was one of the first actually in the state. And he passed away not too long ago. Once again, that's the state's representative.
Yes. Yes, so, that's right.
Absolutely. And I would be remiss. God bless his soul, our brother Tyrone Thompson, who is has been hugely instrumental in not only North Las Vegas, but in West Las Vegas as well.
And if I can jump on that, he has supported me on a professional level when I needed to build a committee. He says yes to me. When I've needed him to host things, he said yes to me. And I appreciate and love his spirit. So I send good energy to him as well.
And his family. That was a grave loss to lose him. And then once again, shout out to Aaron Ford as well, our Attorney General. You know what I mean? All of these people have been making huge strides that we see and don't see.
Correct.
And whether we agree with them or not, at least once again, they're brave enough to stick their necks out to make the effort to try. You know what I mean? So absolutely.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. Thank you. You're showing somebody that it is a part of our culture to at least acknowledge. We don't have to agree all the time, because sometimes people disagree and they're so nasty about it. But you can disagree, but still acknowledge. And I love that you did. That is not only wisdom, It's a sign of respect. It's a sign of honor. And I thank you for doing that. I really, truly thank you for doing that. So I know I do this at the end, but I'm going to salute you.
Salute to you too, sis.
Yes, I really like that. So let's get back into our music bag.
Absolute. Let's pull it.
Yes. So can you identify a song that you sung as a child? I mean, you was, you was getting it. And then you became adult. You like, wait, that song said that. And I was singing that. Can you identify a song?
Probably, I mean, there's a lot of songs that I sung that I really didn't know what it was. But probably a song where I'm like, the grown-ups are out of line for playing this around. Marvin Sears, Seas, Candy Liquor.
Oh!
Yo, Candy Liquor. Yeah, that song and its words, and even though it's not hiding what it's completely about, I didn't know completely what the candy was that was to be licked. You know what I mean? And once again, all them adults that played it around me, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, okay, all right.
That is hilarious. This is a running theme. It's so often that people use that. And think about it as a child. Any children that you have now, you say candy, what are they going to do?
Right.
They think it's associated with sweets.
Right.
But the adults was talking about a different kind of candy, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now I know.
Of course. But, that's the beauty of music. It's layers to it. And we have to give him credit. Even though he sung the song, it was enough padding on it as a child. You didn't know what it was until you became an adult. Like you keep talking about your candy, or as one of my previous guests in, they say every time they hit a song, they would lick their candy and talk about it. And again, not knowing. So that was definitely a good one.
Uh-huh.
So let's talk about this. The world's best uncle.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, give me some. How did you get that title?
I got that title because in truth, I was very fortunate when I married a woman who had a daughter previously. And so you'll never hear me say the word step. That is my daughter.
Yes.
And for context, I say my daughter through marriage, but all intents and purposes, that's my daughter. I have wonderful godchildren. I have many godchildren, but never birthing children of my own. My nieces and nephew, as you know how your family goes. And how,
wait, let me just say this: we had Thanksgiving. It wasn't last year; it was the year before last. We all had Thanksgiving together.
Last, yeah.
All of us adults sitting down, we talking, having a good time. And Kerm upstairs with the kids playing games, sweating, doing all this. I think I talked to you for 2 seconds. Me and Tammy had more conversation than you because you up there the whole time. I mean, you had the kids going, you had them pumped up. So I can definitely see why you're an uncle like that.
Yeah, I take that to heart. God bless me with the children that I have around me. In which, once again, in my lineage and bloodline, I say charity always starts at home. So that I do in the community, I can only do if I've done in the house first. So I say I care about children. I volunteer for Clark County School District in multiple schools, and I couldn't be out there doing any of that. I try to give back, and we do. I'm a former Kappa Leadership League member under Kappa Alpha Psi. And we give back to that organization. We try to help with those youth and those men. And once again, I can't do anything with anybody else if I don't make sure I look out for and take care of the ones that are in my family. So, I'm very active in being a part of my niece's life, my nephew's life. And it brings me great pride and joy. And so of all things, if my life was to end tomorrow, just knowing what I poured into them makes my legacy a happy one.
I love that. And also, I really believe in this. and this is a running theme as you talk. Make sure you clean your own house before you clean anybody else's house. Have you heard that saying before? And you have that running theme, like, I want to make sure I'm taking care of my family, or pouring into my niece and nephew, or doing the things inside my community, and then I can go out. I think that is so necessary and so needed. So again, I applaud you with that running theme. Like, let's take care of business inside so we can take care of business outside.
Yeah, the Bible says, Jesus told somebody, get the log out of your eye before you take the speck out of somebody else's.
Mm, mm.
So once again, what that saying is, and once again, we have a lot of people that, say that they're, financial advisors, that they're spiritual gurus, and have some of the most messiest personal lives. And it's like, y'all, please take care of yourself first
Yes.
before trying to tell somebody else or help somebody else with some things. And it's not that you can't, because even in a bad example, it can be a good message in a bad example. But it's just, we should all reflect. Stevie Wonder has a album called Inner Reflections. You know what I mean? So if we don't reflect internal about who and what we are, then what we seeing is like, hey, it's hard to perceive it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of, I say it all the time on this platform, look at you, fix you, and then we can go out and help anybody else. So I love that. Thank you for acknowledging that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, Stevie Wonder, Inner Vision.
Okay. Yes. Just in case somebody want to check it out.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm going to throw something out to you. The Spirit just put on my heart. You've had your ups and your downs and your challenges, but you still came through. Can you identify a song that when your spirit is low, no one is around, not your wife, not your daughter, not a good friend, you must pick yourself up all by yourself? What song can you tap in to pull your spirit up?
I have a lot, to be honest. I pull from a lot. And it depends on what's the pressing issue. Like the Most Def song, so much can come at you in so many different ways. So let's say if it's just a spiritual thing, like my like I feel like I need the Lord to guide me. So gospel wise, there's a group called Sunday Service Choir, and they have a song called um uh um Count Your Blessings. And the song is just basically a simple chant, but it's just saying, oh, the blessings. Can't you see what God has done? Look and see what God has done. And the way is not what is said, it's the way it's said, like any choir. If you have a million choirs singing I love Jesus, but the way one choir sing it will have you sending through the moon. So yeah, Sunday Service Choir, Count Your Blessings is a wonderful song that I draw from. Actually, Ty Tribbett, there's a song called Look Back, and it's basically, look where he brought you from. So everybody just look back. And then it says, he brought me from a mighty long way. So it's like, okay, all you going through, just look back at where, you know what I mean? You been, look at what was behind you and look at where you currently standing. Like, look how God has carried you. So I go off of that. But one of my biggest ones is Smokey Norfolk. Not a second, not another minute, Jesus, not an hour of another day. I need you right here. I need you to make a way like you have done so many times before. Through a window or open door. God, I come to thee. Please rescue me. I need you right away. So yeah, I draw on my gospel, but I also draw on country. I love bluegrass. Man of Constant Sorrow, which is a bluegrass song. I'm a man.
Wow! Wait a minute! This is a pause moment. I've never heard anybody talk about the bluegrass and the country together. You are such a unique man. Now, I didn't mean to stop you, but I had to acknowledge that. Keep going.
Yeah, but man of constant sorrow. And this is how music is like religion. its intent is to get you to find yourself and to lift you to your better self.
Come
That's what
on.
music both does, or
Wait,
supposed
wait. I got to pause that again, and you must say it again, but you say it slowly because this is some wisdom. Music is what?
Music and religion share the same thread. Its intent is to help you find yourself and elevate yourself and show you you're more connected to people than disconnected you are.
Woo!
Any good song, any good verse in a Bible or Quran or whatever, Quran, whatever you subscribe to, it should be when you're reading it, it's identifying a part of you that you can be grounded in and show you where you are and where you should and could be. Music is the same way.
Woo, you know what? I just want to roll around and throw the pillow. Oh my gosh, that is so like that is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm not even being funny. My energy, I didn't got wet under my underarms because that was so profound. I love that.
Yeah. If and once again, it's all about um, inner reflection of yourself. Once again, the whole thing, look at what you're doing before you look outward. Like, and most of us don't take the time to do that. But I was going to weave the thread. There's a song called Man of Constant Sorrow. It's a bluegrass song, and it was actually featured on a movie called Brother, Where Art Thou? And it said, and it's, I'm a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble in my day. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. And it's talking about a man that's been going through these things in his life, and he's coming to the realization, I'm standing on my own now. It's just me and God. I don't have no friends to help me. It's me and my soul, my woman. I didn't do the right things. I'm gonna have to come to terms with it. This is what's happening. I done outran myself. And then song by Far Side called Running. And the artist, who is it? I think it's Slim Kid Trey is the one that rapped it. And he says, there comes a time in every man's life when he's got to handle things upon his own. Can't depend on friends to help you in a squeeze. Please, they got problems of their own. So those two songs, bluegrass and hip hop, has the very same thing. And depending on where you are in your life, you'll get the same message because God is in both of them.
Come on now, you keep playing with me. You're gonna be a regular on here, okay? We're gonna be like, this is Kerm's second season. Oh my gosh, I love that. Come on now, pull the wisdom out.
I love music. I am a hard student. I love jazz. Jazz is actually my favorite genre. But I love and appreciate all musics. Sleaford and Munns is a grunge rock group out of Britain. They have a rock song called No One's Bothered, or I really like So Trendy. And it just talks about how we are as in the social media age and how we are doing things, not realizing we're becoming androids of ourselves because of are with X, Y, and Z. I can't do this because the Face ID don't recognize me. And once again, this is a grunge rock band out of the UK, Sleaford. I love their music. I just listen to everything. I love electric pop. I love house music. House music, awesome.
What about go-go music?
Oh, of course I love go-go music. I love go-go music. Backyard Barbecue is one of my favorite joints. Oh. Oh my God, what's his name? The one that sung Bustin' Loose.
Yes. I feel like busting loose. I feel like busting loose. I can't think of his name. He's passed not too long ago.
But him, the King of Go-Go. He has a song called Backyard Barbecue, and that's one of my joints. And it actually has the background of George Benson's Broadway. Do 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 dunk, do do dunk, do dunk, do do dunk. Yeah, so Backyard Barbecue is one of my favorite go-go songs. So I don't care what it is. I listen to it with open heart because I know God is in it. You know what I mean? And if I can't find it and connect to it, I let it be. But if I can, I embrace it.
I think that's the number one theme. If it's not for you, let it go. And if it is, rock with it. I love that. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yes. We're doing some great stuff today. I am really, truly enjoying this. So before we get to our last question, I won't say this is the last question. I just want you at this point in your life, what is the wisdom that you have collected, packaged up, and if you had to say something to a young man that feels like he's alone or a young woman and they feel like they have no value, and we know if you're here, you have value, what would you say to them to encourage them from your perspective?
From my perspective, it's, I can't remember who said it. No, I can tell you. Bill Withers, who's a prolific singer and songwriter, he has a documentary, and he come from an old coal mining town in Virginia and made it to one of the most prolific songwriters and artists that this country has ever seen. He, in his documentary, he said, you start at the bottom and you obtain or search and attain for greatness. But along the way, look around you and be fine with the mediocrity. Because if you never make it, you cannot be displanted in life by where you're at. So, and he's saying basically, it's okay that you're not this. It's okay that you're not that. There's still purpose and value in you wherever you stand at. Yeah. You don't have to let your circumstances or your even your current disposition lodge you away from where you want to be. But guess what? Wherever you plant yourself, make the most of it and be okay with it. And that's my thing, is it's not chasing anybody else's idea of what a perfect life is or what life should be. It's defining it for yourself and by yourself. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree with that. I say this often. I say it is 7 lanes in the road. We should not all try to fit into one. Go where you are loved, go where your spirit rests easy, and go where you feel the best of who you are. So I think that is in parallel to what you just said. And I truly believe that. And thank you for giving that perspective to someone. And I say a young person, but we all get in our troubled times. So this may speak to anyone. So thank you for acknowledging that. So I do have one more question, and it's regarding music.
Okay.
And it's about high elevation. I love when you can just be like, "Ooh, I like that." And you know, either you're watching it or you're participating in it. But either way, it grabs your attention, it grabs you in, and you want to participate. So can you identify a song that has high crowd participation in? Either you watched it and you were like, ooh, and you enjoyed it, or you were a participant in it. Like, for example, I've used all the time, happy birthday, and people automatically sing. You don't have to tell them, they jump in. And sometime at the end, now they say, oh, we family, and you see them and you develop a relationship. Can you identify a song with that energy?
Well, it's never a song.
Of course.
It's the song of, once again, my mood. So like, take for example, if I'm trying to get like in like my spirits in a moving mood, I love Leon Bridges' Bad News. That song, its bass line, its tone, like that is just a motivation song. And it says, they said that I was born to lose, but I made a good thing out of bad news. And just what he said, don't worry about the people in my face. I hit up with the style and grace and watch their ankles break. Like, I love how that song moves. And once again, that's a very popular song to get people moving. Like a song for like crowd wise, like hype. Honestly, I say Biz Markie, you got what I need, but you say he's just a friend. Like, how can you not rock when you know what I'm saying? Um,
Yes.
the DeBarge, I like it. Ooh, and I like it. Because the minute somebody say, I like the,
Well, you close your hair.
I
Yeah.
like the, you see what I'm
Sounds
saying? Like, how do you not like hear that and not be like, if you don't know no other lyrics, you know you like the way they comb their hair. You like the stylish clothes they wear. It's just the little things they do that show how much they really care. Like
yes.
you know what I mean? Like there are songs where like no matter what, you don't even have to be in a space where you're paying attention. Your subconscious will follow along with those type songs.
You are absolutely right. I love that. And you gave me, you went boom, 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 boom. You was like, ding, ding. You were firing them off. But I love that. Thank you.
Uh,
That was some great examples.
mm.
So I have had a amazing, phenomenal time talking with you, my brother. It has been so impactful. It's been great perspective. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for giving us a political perspective. Thank you for giving us a soul perspective. Thank you for just being you. I so appreciate that. So as I end all of my, oh, before I end it, let me say this. If anyone wants to get in touch with you, can you, or you have anything that's coming up, can you provide any social media handles, anything for my audience if they say, wait a minute, that dude was so dope, I need to get in touch with him. We need to talk about some things. Can you provide that information?
Well, I am on even though I don't check it often, to be perfectly honest. I detach myself a lot from social media. I have it for purposes, but I really don't fall into the typical. But I will say my name is Arrick Foster, spelled Arrick, last name Foster. I am on Instagram and Facebook. I would encourage people to go to the Vegas Black Think Tank. So the VBTT, Vegas Black Think Tank, and join that group to be in the know of certain information. But honestly, like the song say, I'm just a man trying to do the best I can with what it is I have. I am nobody special or relatively important to the outer world. But
No, 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 no. We're going to stop that. No, no. We're going to stop that. Because
well,
speak those things that are not as though they are. You are so much valued. So we're not going to just,
well,
I get you're trying to be humble.
well, well, I was about to say to my family and those around me, I'm a light. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So as you come into those circles of me, then the light will even more so shine in those ways. But no, I don't shy away from anything and anyone. If I can be of any service, once again, my name is Arrick, Arrick Foster, Foster. I'm endeared in the community and by my family and those who know me as Kerm. I think that's just as much as my name is Arrick to this degree. But just every I'm a proud resident of 89106 Berkeley Square. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm an uncle, I'm a political advocate, I'm a community supporter, and I'm a lover of all things culture and people. And yeah, I mean that's the gist of the cat that's in front of you.
Well, thank you so much. And, before I get out of here, I always say I talk about the journey and the destination. The
Mhm.
journey is where we learn and where we grow. The destination is where we celebrate. I think far too long we go, 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 and we don't sit there to celebrate our wins. I think it's so needed and so necessary. But when it's all said and done, we got to get back into that journey so we can continue to learn and continue to elevate. So, with my women, I always bow to them. I did salute you earlier because you had me feeling some type of way, but I will salute you again.
Yeah.
And And before we get out of here, I love to give my guests the last words. Do you have any last words you would like to say?
Well, I would like to say honor and blessings to you, my sister Hallema. It is an absolute pleasure and honor to be on this platform with you. I think you're doing a wonderful service, and God is moving you into a direction that will be so much more impactful than I think what you might have even envisioned. And it will benefit your children and your family and all of these different webs and roots that you've sown into this community. Just abroad, the people that you have from out of state, the young brother that you had, Julian from Atlanta. Once again, I know his name and I know him because of you. And he was so impactful in that segment that you had with him. And it's just going to show the power of what you're doing. So I want to just take this time to encourage you, sister, no matter what's going on, no matter how your health is, no matter what your circumstances are, please allow God to continue to strengthen you and to serve your purpose in this, and just keep being the light and the wonderful person that you are to all of us that know you and love you and endear you.
You know what? You so sweet. Thank you. I don't even have words. All I can do is be humble and say thank you. And thank you for supporting me. Anybody that has came on and has said yes, I am so thankful, and I've learned from every single interview. So I say thank you, but I'm going to say this in front of the world, that you will be coming on to my second season, and you cannot say no to me, okay? So I'm putting you on Front Street right now.
Okay, you duly noted. I got you.
So thank you so very much. And you guys, please put your hand together and thank my brother. Again, I said my brother, Mr. Kerm. Thank you so much. And I'll see you out here in these Las Vegas streets.
Absolutely. And before I go, late happy birthday to your sister Rashima, my flame, my girl. Happy late birthday, darling. I hope you had a wonderful one, and may God continue to bless you in your steps.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. See you out here in these streets.
Absolutely. Keep representing the city well, love.
Yes.